You may notice I'm using a different camera today. This is actually my cell phone camera. I normally I use the camera on my MacBook, but the imagery is really jerky and things like that, and it doesn't, and the sound often doesn't sync. It's not a big problem. I'm probably still going to use it in the future because it's very convenient. But I thought I'll try it with this and see how it works out. I wanted to, normally when I do the movie logs, I wait sometimes several weeks before I actually upload and talk about the movies that I've seen in that time period. It's not really for a purpose. Often I don't get around to doing it until several weeks or weeks. One of the things that's kind of interesting is when I'm going to see a lot of films or I'm doing a lot of stuff, I don't really have the time to upload. And last thing I want to do after I spend, because often I'm coming home late in the evening after seeing a film, and I just don't at that time. There's other things I want to do as opposed to uploading a video about a film. The good thing about doing it more recently, though, is that just things are still fresh in your mind. And if there's things that you saw in the film that you want to talk about, since it's fresh, you can kind of go right into it. Now, I saw this film a couple days ago. It's Sunday now, and I saw this film on was it Friday? Friday evening, I saw it. Film is Unforgivable, is the name, and it's a French language film for the most part, but it takes place in Venice, so that a lot of the dialogue is in Italian. And I gotta say, I was really, really, really drawn into this film. The first, I guess, 2/3 of it, maybe even 3/4. The final part of the film, well, not terrible, it wasn't as strong as the first 2/3 or 3/4 of the film. So, but by that time, you're still drawn in. You're just waiting to see how they're going to end the film. Overall, it was really good. One thing about this film is kind of interesting is that if you went to see the film based off the trailer, I thought the trailer was a lot different than the actual film. I mean, the trailer made it seem like it was going to be like a murder mystery, and so when I viewed the film, while it was very good, it was a lot different than the trailer. So that might be something. Now, this film, because it's subject matter and I don't know how many theaters you'll be able to see this in the United States. It's here in Philadelphia. Probably films, you can see films like this in Philadelphia, New York, San Francisco, Seattle, I would assume, Washington, D.C. If you're in a slightly smaller city, I don't know if this film will make its way to you, but it probably will make its way to DVD or even streaming. Who knows, but it's definitely worth seeing. One thing about this film, and about just about any film that you see, is that they show the lifestyle of the very wealthy, the very rich. And that's just normal in a lot of films. I think they find that people of that economic level just creates more stories and gives you more material to work with. You do have films about people who are poor, who don't have as much things. But normally that's a major part of the storyline. That's what they're trying to portray, and that's a part of the storyline. That's a part of the essence of the film. In general, when they're just doing a film about people, it usually is people of higher incomes. And, in this film, you see people who are, the main character is a famous writer. He rents this grand home on the outskirts of Venice. Everybody in his household, they have access. Everyone that you see in this film, they have access to things. I'm thinking about the last couple of weeks when I saw that film, Queen of Versailles, where it was also about people that were highly wealthy, very moneyed people. But this is like new money. These are people that got in a limousine and went to the McDonald's drive-thru. So although they were very wealthy, the way they would go to their kids' little league games. The way they lived their life was something that was very accessible and familiar. This is, not as accessible, as far as with the wealth and how what is portrayed in the film. But that's not unusual in films. A lot of people go to film for escapism, so that's the kind of things they like to see. You know, they don't want to see things that are close to their own pattern of life. They want to see something that's extraordinary, something that they could look and, I guess, enjoy watching. If they can't live it, they want to at least see it. But yeah, so if you get a chance to see it, see Unforgivable. Peace.